So here's a classic Wall Street story. A biotech firm reports earnings, and bam! The stock shoots up over 12% overnight. You know what that usually means? A classic beat and raise. And today, we're going to dig into exactly how Mirum Pharmaceuticals pulled it off, and more importantly, what's next for them.
Yeah, that's a 12% jump. And let me tell you, this wasn't some quiet move. Right after their August 6 earnings call, the market just pounced. The stock surged, and the trading volume was more than triple the daily average. That's not just a good reaction. That's a massive vote of confidence from investors.
All right, so let's look at the numbers. They didn't just beat expectations on earnings, they completely crushed them. Now, you see a negative 12 cents per share, and you might think, wait, that's a loss. And you're right, but Wall Street was expecting a much bigger loss, down at negative 33 cents. So this was a huge win.
And if you thought that was good, check out the top line, the revenue. The story here is even better. They brought in $127.8 million. The consensus, you know what Wall Street analysts were hoping for? Just $108.1 million. They blew right past it. And get this, that's a 64% jump from the same time last year. Just incredible growth.
So you're probably asking, how did they do it? Let's peel back the layers here, because the why behind this absolutely stellar quarter really comes down to one star performer, their lead drug, LIVMARLI.
I mean, look at this. LIVMRI was the engine here, no question. Its sales just exploded, surging 87% year over year to hit $88.2 million. But what's really impressive is that this wasn't a one-trick pony situation. Their other products, the existing portfolio, also grew by a really solid 30%. That shows you there's real strength across the entire business.
And when you have numbers like that, you start thinking bigger. Management is definitely feeling confident. For the first time ever, on the earnings call, the COO, Peter Radovich, came right out and said it. They now see a clear path for LIVMARLI to become a billion-dollar drug. That is a huge statement.
So how exactly are they getting there? This is the really interesting part. A key theme from their call was this idea that they're not just stealing market share from competitors. No, they're actually growing the pie. They're discovering that for this rare liver disease, PFIC, the number of potential patients is way bigger than anyone thought. Why? Because better genetic testing is now finding people who get the disease later in life. It's a total game changer for their market size. Okay, and all of this strong performance, this growing the pie, it gave management the confidence to do something investors absolutely love to see. They jacked up their full-year revenue guidance. We're talking a boost of over $50 million right at the midpoint. This now puts them on track for almost 50% revenue growth for the whole year. Remember that beat and raise we talked about? Well, this is the raise that really got the market fired up.
But look, this story isn't just about what happened last quarter. That's the past. Management's confidence and really the market's excitement is also about the future. It's built on a really clear pipeline of what's coming next, a solid runway for more growth.
And here it is, the path forward. It is just packed with potential good news. I mean, over the next year and a half, Mirum has a bunch of late-stage trial milestones coming up. It's like a roadmap of events that could unlock even more value for the stock. The big one to circle on your calendar? Q2 of 2026. That's when we expect to see key data for their next drug, volixibat. That could be another major inflection point.
Now here's the kicker, and this is so important for a biotech company. They can pay for all of this themselves. Think about that. With over $320 million in cash on hand and, crucially now, generating positive free cash flow, they are financially independent. They don't need to go out and raise more money, which means they won't have to dilute current shareholders. That is a massive de-risking event.
So it all comes down to this, right? We've got a fantastic quarter in the rearview mirror. We have a clear path forward. So where does MIRM stock go from here? What's our call?
All right, here's the next call. First, next quarter's revenue. With the momentum LIVMARLI has, both here in the US and overseas, we think there's a high chance they beat expectations again. Now for the price. You know biotech is always volatile, but when you combine this level of execution with all those upcoming catalysts, we're rating the stock outperform. We see a very clear path for the stock to head towards those $80 plus price targets that the big Wall Street firms are putting out there.
So what's the bottom line? Mirum has successfully made the leap. They're no longer just a maybe someday development story. They are a commercial execution story, and they have a clear line of sight to their next big growth wave. The big question for investors now is simple. Can they keep up this flawless execution as they try to become a billion-dollar company? And of course, a quick reminder, this is not financial advice.